count. Did you see what I just did?
And we are live. Manuel can't count.
I can't count. No, we did 5, 4, then I did 3, then I did 3 again. I think I did this 3, then I did this 3. This wasn't the story I was going to start with, but like when I was younger, I remember like, which one was it? Like, I never counted to 3 like this. I would do like the okay 3, and then somebody like a teacher or somebody's like, that's not the way you count to 3. You do it like this. And yeah,
Actually,
that's just my
my sister who
corrected me.
Sal taught me that the way to do it is with the
is
thumb.
that a real thing?
No, it's the thumb, pointer, and middle finger up. It's basically the reverse of the okay. It's the other 3.
Reverse okay?
It's the middle
Like
finger.
that?
Like that.
That's so. I can't even do that. My hands are all like cramping up. Hey everyone, it's Ultra Podcast Z where hands cramp up. Wait, that sounds weird.
Depends on why they're cramping up.
Yeah, I'm Manuel, leader of A to J Connections, and it's Ultra Podcast Z episode 194. 194. Like everyone, get throw out the 194s. I don't know why I said that. And joining me tonight is Josh. Josh, go and say hi.
Hello there. It has been a while.
It has been a while. I don't think we've had you on since last year, if I'm not mistaken. Like
technically,
sometime like last year, as in like 2022. Wasn't that so long ago?
Yeah. With how fast things are going, we're already into February. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I know. It's wild. It's already almost Valentine's Day. I think the next UPC is on Valentine's Day. So yeah.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. Today's the 7th. 7 days from now is Valentine's.
It's funny because have you ever gone to a restaurant on Valentine's Day?
No.
Yeah, one time I did when I was it's funny because it was not on purpose. I was dating this one girl, and like we had just decided on Tuesday, whatever day it was, on Tuesday or Wednesday, let's go to eat at this random Chinese buffet that like we've been talking about going to for a while. Mm-hmm. And we went into it. We get there, and it's crowded. And it's funny because like we're totally dating, and we don't even know it's Valentine's Day. Like it did not register with us in our brains. We get there and it's crowded and it's expensive because like now it's like like they raised the price for Valentine's Day. And it was the worst meal we've ever had in our lives. It was the worst service. I mean, no shame to people working there. They were like overworked,
No, that's what it sounds like. If it's overworked, it's not. There is no love in that food.
I remember my parents used to be the kind of people who were like, oh, when it's Mother's Day, let's go out to eat. And I'm like, oh my God. Don't ever do that don't do that to food people, by the way. Just don't do it. Go get McDonald's or just go make a sandwich at home. Go out another day.
Go make a sandwich for your date. They will appreciate it, and it will have more love than the exhausted emotions of a cooking crew on a what's called Valentine's Day.
I remember there was I like how this turns to Valentine's Day talk. I remember how like 2 Valentine's Days ago we did a bad relationship advice on UPZ with Nyaru. That was that was some bad relation. Did you watch that one, JD? It was really bad advice.
I watched that one. I can't remember if it was that one or had Pleiades, or was it another episode that was bad advice.
I think it did have Pleiades, but yeah, like because I remember we I think we both came up with advice on our own, and then we went to like Reddit and shit like that to like advise people on Reddit, like not written down, but like to advise them live. Mm-hmm. Like we read a story and it's like, yeah, you should do this, you should break up with her, kind of thing.
Oh wow.
we gave really bad advice. Anyway, Ultra Podcast Z, there's some good shit going on. Do you have a Switch, Josh?
Do I have a Switch? Yes, I have a Switch. In fact, that's funny because I have that right here.
Yeah, I have mine right here too. It's like our emergency switches right by the computer.
You can't see mine on camera, but mine is also right by my PC at this moment because I was playing Animal Crossing before the stream.
Yeah, I was literally playing Fire Emblem Engage right before we went live. Like I was just like playing it. Like I was just apparently the Switch is the 3rd best-selling console right now. It has 121 million units. Isn't that wild?
Like the 3rd best-selling console ever?
Yeah. Yes, it's 3rd to the DS and the PS2 in that order. wait, the PS2 is first. Sorry, in that order.
Yes.
PS2, DS, and then Switch.
I definitely believe that PS2 one to be factual.
It'll never surpass the PS2, I'm sure, but that's still really good numbers. Well, who knows? Maybe it will. Like, I think it has another year or two still in it. The Switch does.
I don't know. Is the Switch really going to have something new? Isn't it just going to have, like, they tried to make a new Switch and all it was just bigger and not 1080p?
I mean, it was just the OLED upgrade. Yeah, it was a refresh, not a new console.
And like, there's all sorts of conspiracy theories about like why that was. I don't know. What's funny about the PS2 though is that like everyone always points this out. Like the PS2 was just a really cheap DVD player at the time, so I honestly feel that's why that had a crazy amount of like sales.
Yeah,
maybe that's just me. I still own 3 PS2s, no 4, because I have a Slim. I own 4 PS2s, so 4 of those 150 million, how much the PS2s are however much they made. I mean, 4 of those are in my personal possession.
Yeah, Manuel's actually the reason half the PS2s were ever bought. So if he had never bought one, it'd be the DS at the top.
I think I had DSs. I think I ended up giving like 2 to my to an ex-girlfriend when we broke up for some stupid ass reason. I should have just kept them. One was hers, but I gave her another one that she had played most of the time. But up until that point, I think I had 8 DSs.
Just Manuel, you sure we shouldn't be going after you when we say eat the rich?
No, the funny thing is, okay. The funny thing is 2 of those I found while I was working at Party City, as in like some poor child left their Switch. I assume it's a child. It could have been an adult. Some poor soul left their left their DS like on a shelf, or like And I was like walking around the store, I'm like, oh look, a DS in my pocket.
And you didn't even like.
Fair, what would I gonna do? Like put on the intercom, like anyone missing a DS? I mean, if somebody would have come up and said like, hey, did you find a DS? Yeah, fuck yeah, here you go. But no one did.
Did you wait like a couple weeks?
Left it. Well, I mean, yeah, you should have just been like somebody who just loses a DS. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody was going to be backtracking to try and get that DS, and now you just happen to put it in your pocket.
Somebody else would have.
If you lost a DS at a Party City in what 2006, Manuel stole it.
I stole your DS. If you ever lost a Nintendo DS at Party City in Torrance, California, it is in my possession. I apologize. To be fair, I still have both the ones I found. So like, those didn't go to my ex-girlfriend. I still have both of those.
Contact us on Twitter, and Manuel will return them to you.
You gotta tell me what color it was. Anyway, and it's funny because one of them was a purple DS Lite.
Well, now they know, Manuel.
Oh shit, you're right. God damn it. Well, anyway, one of them was a purple DS Lite, and that's my go-to DS to this day. Like if I still want to play an R4, if I want to play like a Pokemon game or some shit like that, I'll still power that one up. I even changed the battery like last year. It's at some point because the battery like had popped. Anyway, tomorrow.
I'm just trying to share this around a bit more because do you post this more often other places, Manuel?
I didn't post at all that we were live, I think, did I?
You gotta post when you go live.
I forgot. Hold on, let me see if I did. But
I thought you said you posted it because I started the stream right when he's posted it.
Oh, I'm just
Whoa, bro, I'm about to. Dude, this looks so hilarious because of one of the topics that we have. I tried sharing something with you and I forgot to share it directly to you. So it's on Facebook and like people are now getting into it, but this one guy is going like really mask off. So it's like kind of funny.
Well, you know what? We'll come back to the Nintendo Direct. Let's just lead with that one because that's a juicy topic.
Okay.
I was going to circle around to that towards the mid so that we can but let's just lead in with that. So Hogwarts Legacy comes out on Friday. I actually I was confused because I thought it came out now, like already, but I guess people are just playing like their
review copies.
Yeah, the review copies or whatever. So it's out for some people, and reviews are in, and everyone's playing it. And
I mean, reviews or lack thereof.
There are some reviews. IGN. Cheddar mentioned IGN's review. JD
IGN
liked
is
it.
like the only one who would take that paycheck.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. I fucking love him. I can't show you my wall because it's too dark and I didn't turn my light on. One of my favorite YouTubers of all time is Call Me Kevin. He's an Irish YouTuber. He's huge now, but I literally followed him when he was a really small channel, just doing like his like Jim Pickens Sims videos and whatever. From Sims 3 before even Sims 4. He's the only YouTuber I collect merch for. I have all of his related YouTubes. I have a Jim Pickens plush on my wall. The only pictures I had put back up after we did the whole like remodeling thingy are Jim Pickens posters. And that fucker took a Warner Brothers paycheck and is doing a let's play for Hogwarts Legacy. And I don't mean just like he's playing it. I mean the fucking video is sponsored by Warner Brothers. He had an ad read and everything. And I'm like,
Pretty extra.
I don't know, man. Like, and it's funny because obviously he's not gonna, because obviously if Warner Brothers is paying him, he's not gonna be all like, I know this game is controversial, but I'm gonna play it because he did kind of.
The game is not controversial. It's that it's controversially still giving money to a very terrible person.
The funny thing is she's pretty much said directly that the money is going to her and that she's still she's not changing, and she sees the support as like, yeah, some people do, and it's true because some people just straight up side with those views, and that people side with her, and it's just like, I don't know. I see the two frames of thought where it's all like, yes, definitely. F turfs, I agree. Yeah, first of all, in case you don't know where we're coming from, ADJ Connections is like totally all inclusive. Like, I don't even want to call anything special. Like, oh yeah, I have trans friends. Like, fuck that. You should just not be a horrible person, whether you have trans friends or not. Just anyway. But I just why you could play any other game. It just blows my mind about playing the Hogwarts Legacy game. Also, I know this is kind of a mildly off topic and a little bit of a hot take, but I never liked Harry Potter. Did you, Josh?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, you still do.
Well, I mean, it's kind of rough because like I like Harry Potter, but like obviously it's been hard to really like engage with the I'm about to say medium and all that stuff. I mean, I can't engage with it like I used to, and everything JK has done after book 7 has been very just weird, and then later it got very yikes. So it's hard because like I go to Universal Studios and there's Wizarding World. Regardless as to whether or not Wizarding World was a thing that I want to check out, which I checked it out for the first time back last year when I went with my girlfriend to Universal Studios, and so we just went over there, we checked some stuff out. My first time being there, but like Universal is like very all in about everything with what's it called, that being a part of the park. There's no way to really escape it. It's probably factored into the ticket itself, and so it doesn't become something where right away somebody's going to be kind of like, hey, don't check out Wizarding World because of J.K. Rowling. Maybe don't buy as much like fantasy wish fulfillment stuff. And that's what we have with the game. Like the game note itself is something that is a lot easier to look directly at it and point, hey, if you're going to buy this, you're probably going to be supporting J.K. Rowling's wallet. And with all of the issues with not just J.K. Rowling, but like terrible anti-Semites who want to have power
oh
in
my god.
parliament, and also in the US with all the anti-trans laws that have been coming out, especially with a lot of terrible grifters out there. Like people, there are some people who aren't just making their bag, like they're actively making life terrible for other people, and it's like very stupid because we should be obviously against this. We shouldn't say like there's no way that we want any of this to really support to it, and we want to enjoy our Harry Potter because, like, I mean, it was a big part of my life as I was growing up and up until like the last movie came out. Yeah, sorry I took up too much time, but
Oh,
it's
it's funny
complicated.
because you actually put it pretty succinctly about what I was trying to get out. Like I couldn't really word it right about how you can go to Universal Studios and you might visit the Wizarding World of Harry Potter because it's there, and
Yeah,
that's different. But like you said, like buying the game, come on, you could have not bought the game. Um, yeah, but my experience with Harry Potter has been very because like it came out, I was a little too old for it. I mentioned this before. Like I mean, obviously you could argue those books have no age, but the first book was clearly meant for a younger audience than I was. I was already like in like middle school, and I guess it could have been my age, but I thought to me that felt like a much younger book. Like I was like read by that point in my life, I was already reading Lord of the Rings every year. Not to say like, oh, that's much higher, literature, but you know what I mean. It's like a different level. Um,
I
like
mean, like when I heard about it, 4 books were already out. So when you're saying middle school, like I was in elementary school when like book 4 was out, and that was
yeah,
probably more towards like 14 since it's going off of like I think it's 11 if I remember correctly. It's like 11, then 12, 13. With the goal being that I think by the time it gets to the 7th book, Harry's like 17.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, like I remember which is the blue one, Order of the Phoenix. I remember when that book came out,
Yeah.
like I was already done with the series. Like I'm like, this is not for me. And that came out, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when I just went into high school. Because I remember like people in high, I remember like because I was I was like 15 years old. I was stupid, or even younger than that. I was just really stupid. I remember people like were reading it at school. I'm like, "Oh, you're reading a kid's book. Look how fucking immature you are." I was that kid. So yeah, hate me too. But but I do remember um like that was always my problem with Harry Potter in general. And I know this is like mildly off topic, but I've ranted about this before. Like it's a series that started off really silly in this first book and then got really serious by the end. And like I just felt the world building is like so bad for that. And I just and the retconning that happened afterwards was ridiculous. Also, even as a sheltered child living in like the ghetto, going to a ghetto public school, like, and there's a reason I'm mentioning this. We're going to come back around to the game. Is like even as a sheltered child, I'm like, man, that Cho Chang, that's such a bad name.
That's a really bad name.
And yes, 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 I know that that name exists, and I know that like Cho is a popular name. Chang is a common name. I shouldn't say popular; it's a common name. But calling someone that is just weird. It's like I'm gonna make a Mexican character. His name is Jose Manuel, like Diaz, or like I can't think of
Actually, I got one.
a
I
name.
got one for you though. Wait, we're gonna tangent into something really nice in the middle of this because like it all sucks, but like one thing that does not suck is, and I don't know why this didn't come across. This does not come across to me, but you know who Jose is, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so one, she could have just called him Jose or something like that. But here's the other thing. As we all know, Jose has had a very up and down life, both about having a very successful singing career, as well as one that was destroyed by his alcoholism, and then also one where he pretty much was a terrible husband, if I'm remembering correctly. But and then later he loses his voice, so he cannot sing. Okay, like it's kind of like karmic justice for all of the issues that occurred. But like get this, there's later there's a different singer named Christian who like covers a bunch of his music because I guess his like mom was big like really big with Jose and stuff like that. So but follow me, okay, follow me.
okay.
What if, and this guy's a musician, what if Araki makes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 10, and it's just about Jose because it's JoJo, man. Like Like,
Going
could you
somewhere else
imagine
for that? No.
what happened? No, look, could you imagine if they made a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure inspired by Jose? Like, bruh.
JD. JD, save me here.
I have no idea what to do right now. Next topic.
No, we're coming circling back around. We'll come back around. I want to take it back.
Wait,
to
what
the
is
whole...
JD saying? It sounds like he's far away from his mic. What's going on?
He is. He was just saying next topic, but I'm not moving on yet. So the reason I brought up the Cho Chang thing is not just to like rag on the horrible name choice. It's like let's not even get into some of the. I'm not 100% sure that the whole goblin banker thing is as racist as everyone says it. I'm not sure.
Anti-Semitic.
It's anti-Semitic is what that is.
Apparently it is. The only reason I don't know is because I don't remember that. I don't remember. But apparently it is. I'll leave it there. So my point to bring this up is a lot of shit like that. But in the new Harry Potter game, and it's funny because I saw the thing you shared, is that they put a trans character in the game. And first of all, it seems like a mad deflection that they did that. But even if you don't want to,
pretty sure that's what that was.
Even if you don't want to take that stance, let's talk about her name. Or is it actually? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe it's.
Okay.
Let's talk about the name trans woman. Yes.
Let's talk about her name. Now, her name is Sirona Ryan, and I know that Sirona is a real name. I knew that before, but they could have called her anything else. That's not the point. Yeah, they didn't have to call her Sirona. If that name existed, is this somebody like put a note down like we have to have a Sirona in this game? They could have given it to another character and switched the name somewhere. They did not have to call her Sirona. And like that feels weird. And everybody's already calling it out because like you would make the first trans character and start their name with Sir.
Yeah, no, that's what a lot of people are kind of concerned, and it's kind of amazing because like J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with this particular character's creation. So honestly, it kind of it feels just as much of like trying to appeal to people to feel better about playing the game, but at the same time it almost sounds like the type of name she would come up with in a very
what I'm saying. Like it feels like either the dev team were like had like mixed feelings on their own thing, and the writer was all like, "Oh yeah, this is I'm definitely putting in a somewhat pun in." I wouldn't call it a pun, but you know what I'm saying. I would put a weird thing in this one too. But even if not, somebody had to. I refuse to believe that something so obviously was going to get noticed. They were going to notice this. It had to have gone through levels within the company. I'm sure even J.K. Rowling, whether she approved it or not, had to have known about it. There's no way that somebody along that chain of command wasn't like, bro, we probably should change that name. We call her Mary, call her anything else, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like
Saoirse. Let's start with the Sir. I was going with other like Irish lady names, and was it Saoirse Ronan? But it kind of sounds like Sir, still.
But yeah, it's just like anything. Like it just blows my mind that they went with that name. Like it is a real name, but so is Cho Chang. You just don't have to go there though. So
yeah, they didn't.
Yeah,
did not have to, and yet that happened.
But yeah, there's just so much about the game, and I'm like, part of me doesn't want to like, doesn't want, and honestly, I'm not going to. Like, I'm not going to like shame actually, I will shame them, but I'm not going to stop being friends with my friends if they play the game. I'll just judge them, and I'll be like, you could be playing anything else. And I know that there's this whole thing about like, oh, you know, capitalism, blah blah blah, like all things unethical, whatever the fuck. But this is different. They're outright open about it. There's like, there's no illusion of like, of maybe my product is good. You know what I mean? Like, as in good ethically. Like, there's no illusion there. It's just right away. I mentioned this in the chat before it went live. Do you remember when the whole Chick-fil-A thing blew up? Like about 10 years ago?
Yes. Sorry, you were asking him.
Oh, I was asking Josh, but yeah. So 10 years ago, more than that, but I don't remember exact time frame that well. I was at Party City though. I remember that when it really blew up that they were supporting all the the anti-gay stuff and blah blah blah. There was a push to boycott Chick-fil-A. And very specifically, you can Google this. There was a Chick-fil-A down the street from the Party City I worked at in Torrance, California, on Hawthorne Boulevard. Such a progressive, place in the country. They graffitied, "Taste like hate" with like on the side and drew like a cow. Like their logo was like "taste like chicken," or I forgot what the "taste like
Eat
chicken"
more
or whatever
chicken.
the fuck. Eat more chicken, yeah, whatever. And it's like "taste like hate." Somebody's very rough graffiti thing of like the cow holding up a sign that says "taste like hate," and there was such a backlash against that, not against them being anti-gay, but against the whole graffiti, like them getting attacked. That Chick-fil-A was like bombarded by customers. Like there was lines around the block, and they sold out of food by like 2 p.m. or some shit like that. And that was not unique to the Chick-fil-A that was like by my store, but it was wild to see it. And it's just like, and my point of bringing that up is because the Chick-fil-A is the obvious counterexample to this too. It's like, yeah, you could eat it. Yeah, you could play the game. Do you want to be associated with the people who are doing it because it supports their views? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting at. I don't know. Don't play the game. Go fucking play Go
Fire
play
Emblem
bowling.
Engage. Go play Fire Emblem Engage.
Fire Emblem Engage. I've been losing so much. Actually, go play Fire Emblem Engage and go finish my damn relay maps. I keep sending them out into the void because like there's relay maps where you like have 5 players and like people have to take over the map. No one has taken over my maps. I put them to the public. Play it and take over my fucking relay maps, please, please. Anyways, but yeah, also little thing. The only time in my life that I was ever really into Harry Potter was, funny enough, that same girlfriend I mentioned earlier that I went to go to the Valentine's Day Chinese buffet and then it was the worst experience of my life. She was into Harry Potter, so I got to experience the whole thing much later in life, kind of recently, about 10 years ago again, before J.K. Rowling was saying all of her bullshit. Anyway, what else is there, JD?
You had something about the character in Tomo-chan is a girl being voiced by the same actress in English and Japanese.
Are you familiar with Sally Amaki, Josh?
I tried looking her up. She looks really cute, and I got some information regarding her doing idling also in English, but I was not able to find what particular role she did that was both English and in Japanese.
It's funny you say. Okay, JD knows because I was about to say like it's funny you say that because I couldn't find out either. That's why I don't have it.
She's Carol in Tomo-chan is a girl.
Oh, she would be. She would be like the I assume that's the American exchange student or white girl. Her name's Carol.
Yeah, I think she's British, but yeah.
Oh well, you know what? American, British, Japan doesn't know the difference. I'm just kidding. She's white. Emmanuel says racist things. Anyway, what was I gonna say? The irony of me like going off of that random tangent.
Wait, are you being serious?
No, I'm joking.
I was about to say what?
I'm joking. Gosh, it's just funny.
I need to go get my eyes like checked or something. I was like, oh wow.
It's just funny because in my head I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like if somebody's watching that on YouTube, I'm like, you would make a joke after you just talk all this shit about you. I mean, there's obviously different levels, but anyway. The funny thing about Sally Amaki is, and I won't name details because actually I should probably name details now that I said that because now it's gonna sound much worse if I don't. She used to live around here, and I don't think Josh, you might have even come around when we're hanging out with her, and it's just really wild to me whenever she gets mentioned in things. I guess it's like I don't know if Molly feels the same way with Kaylee or something like that, but and even this girl I think is way bigger than because this girl's like an idol too. It's just wild to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the. I won't say that. That's that girl we used to party with at cons, and it's like, hang out. I hung out with her one time to get like a hot pot somewhere with some friends. It's like, and now she's famous. I thought
Now
Molly
she's
was dead.
famous.
Why would Molly be dead to us?
I thought Molly was. What the fuck? Did something happen? I'm already trying to
Oh.
keep up with what I'm being told right now regarding Sally, but now there's this going on? What?
No, Molly's cool. We don't see it. Oh, okay. It's funny. This is A to J drama alert. If you want the T on A
We
to
haven't
J.
seen or heard of her. Or
No,
we
we
don't
have.
see or hear from her. Okay.
It's funny because like I think there's what was I gonna say? Like we just have like she's busy doing her own thing. We're busy doing our own thing, and yeah, I saw her at ALA. We're cool. We're cool. It's just funny because this is no secret if you ever hung out with us. This is no secret if you ever watch a stream where we're on together. Um, there are times when Manuel likes to start music projects that he usually never finishes. Uh, and whenever I do the music projects and don't include Molly, she acts like I sold like I sold her firstborn child, like for drug money or something, because it offends her so. Or more accurately, like I told JD, she acts like I'm cheating on her with other musicians or singers in this case. But that's the Molly too. You stole her. It's funny. It's funny because like I've mentioned many music projects. Some of them have come to like mild fruition, but whenever Molly's not involved, or like I attend, like it's funny because I'll bring it up to her. She's like, "Then why did you ask me and why'd you tell me about it if you were going to ask me to be in it?" I'm like, "Because you're my friend, and I was just sharing something I'm doing with you." But yeah. Anyways, I love Molly. Molly's not dead to us, but Sally is. Sally's a horror. I'm just kidding.
Sending this to Sally now.
Huh?
Joking. I said sending this to Sally now.
No. It's funny because I'm not 100% sure how much she remembers. I mean, she probably remembers me just because like I'm the big guy who probably hung out with in the circle. So like I'm hard to forget even if you don't know my name. You know what I mean to say? But yeah, I don't know. It's funny because all the articles I saw were all like, oh, some even said like they think this is the first time that's ever happened.
It's
It
not.
isn't. Very famously, which I thought was a horrible choice. Like, and it's funny because I love her. Mari Iijima did Minmay in both the original, obviously Macross in the 80s, but she did it for the ADV dub in like the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was a horrible, horrible choice
That
because
was a horrible choice because
Minmay, if you've never seen Macross, Minmay is a young aspiring idol. I think she's literally like 16 in the show.
okay.
And Mari Iijima, I think, was about that age when she played her in the 80s, in 1983 or 82 when she did it. 20 some odd years have passed when she ended up reprising the role. And through no fault of her own, she sounds like an older, more mature woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so wild to me hearing it in English, hearing like Mari Iijima. And she has a pretty distinctive voice, and like she has a naturally deeper voice too. So it just sounds like a really old voice coming out of Minmay in English in that dub.
Yeah. I just wanted to add in that Miyuki Sawashiro did it for Digicharat.
I got confused. Minmay is Yeah, we actually know a Minmay. I assume that's a typo in there, but we know a Minmay in our circle. Did I tell you that, JD?
No.
If you ever, I think you've met her, but I just didn't introduce you guys properly. Snacks has a friend. I guess it's our friend now too, but Snacks has a friend who is named Minmay because their parents were fans of Macross and named her Minmay. I think you've met her, Josh. We have a Minmay in our
Oh,
circle.
hey, that makes sense.
And it's so wild because like when I met her, I was like, "Wait, your name's not Minmay." And she's like, "No, it really is." And she showed me her ID. I guess she gets asked that a lot by the weebs, the older
I
weebs
think
who
that's
know.
what it makes sense because it's like a very specific thing that you would like call somebody. Otherwise, like me hearing it because I'm not that big into Macross, it would go over my head. But like anybody else, they'll be like, "Oh, I caught that right away."
There's this show that was on like in the 2000s on G4, the old G4 when it was still the cable channel, called Code Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Oh, Code Monkeys. I
Rip
remember
second
that.
G4.
I was about to say Rip second G4. It's gone now too.
I fucking love Code Monkeys. I know every line from like all 26 episodes. There weren't that many of them because I've seen them so many times. I've referenced them a lot, like in DTLs and R's. But there's an episode where one of the characters gets like his anime waifu, and like her name is Min Mao. Obviously a play on Min May or whatever. But like whenever I see the name or hear the name Min May, I want to say Min Mao because of that fucking episode of Code Monkeys. And whenever I hang out with Min May, I always have to fight the urge to not be like Min Mao. Because it just sounds like it's terrible. We need to binge that show. Yeah, we need to binge that show, Code Monkeys. I have it on my computer. I'll just transfer it to my laptop. Because season 1 was on DVD, which I own, and then season 2 was never released, and you can only get like rips off of I think it's on YouTube, but like I have decent rips. Huh?
It's apparently streaming on Peacock.
Honey.
It's streaming on Peacock.
Yeah.
Code Monkeys.
Yeah.
Code Monkeys get no.
Does it use the Jonathan Colton song for?
It does.
Okay. Yeah. To Code Monkeys like Fritos. Code
Monkeys like Tab and Mountain Dew.
Code Monkey, very simple man, with big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code
did you
Monkey
know?
Like you.
The other day, as in like 2 weeks ago, I was really excited about musicals. I like how this is like Manuel going off about musicals now. Well, we'll come back to the topics, but I got really excited about musicals out of nowhere. I just wanted to listen to musicals. I think I made that post. I think you even talked about it, Josh. But I decided to sit down and fully watch the SpongeBob musical. And so like I watched it because there was a special of it a while back, and I finally watched it. I'd heard the soundtrack here and there, and I heard the soundtrack throughout. I didn't know that Jonathan Colton wrote like the main song, what is it called, the opening song, the one that reprises like fucking 5 times throughout.
Oh, look it up.
Bottom. I think it's called Bikini Bottom Day or some shit like that. But yeah, Jonathan Colton wrote that song. I did not know that, and it sounds like a Jonathan Colton song once you hear it. It's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. If you don't know who Jonathan Colton is, Josh, I'm sure you know a few of his songs just because they're all over the place.
Probably.
Like the Regarding Your Brains one.
The what?
Regarding Your Brains, the one about the zombies, what's like an acoustic song. I can't remember how the lyrics go, but something about like, pardon me while I eat your brains. It's like
I don't think I've heard that one actually.
A lot of weebs used to sing that one like at cons, like randomly. Were you saying, JD?
Yeah, the name of the song is Bikini Bottom Day.
Oh, it is. I was right.
The other song you were just talking about was Your Brains.
There you go. That's Jonathan Colton.
He also wrote Still Alive from Portal. Maybe you know that one.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, if you ever play Portal, that's the theme from that. He wrote that. And a bunch of other songs that you probably heard randomly. I have a bunch of his stuff on my playlist if you ever you ever heard them. But yeah. Anyway, Jonathan Colton. Code Monkeys, good memories. What else? Talking about the Nintendo Directs tomorrow. Do you watch Nintendo Directs, Josh? Do you see what's new with Nintendo?
No, I tend to just hear about afterwards. But I mean, I haven't kept up with anything in terms of what's expected to release or get announced. So that's about it. I end up hearing yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Oh, it's funny because everyone's all like throwing their like crazy rumors out there, and I'm like, I don't think there's gonna be anything that crazy. I just think it's gonna be a lot of what the fuck's the game called? The new Zelda game?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. I'm sure it'll just be a lot of Tears in the Kingdom. It'll be Pokemon Scarlet Violet DLC, and probably a fucking Metroid Prime news. Because is that still coming out? They've been talking about that.
Yes, it's just been in development for so long. Probably gone through so many stops and starts.
Also, like Advance Wars Collection, we're still waiting, guys. That was supposed to come out like over a year ago, I think.
Yeah, but then Russia got in the way.
But like, you could have still released it. Like, it's not like I don't know. I don't think anyone would have put like the connection there if they didn't make it. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have been like, way to release the new Call of Duty, guys. Don't you know there's a war going on somewhere in the world? Because there is all the time, unfortunately. The world we live in. But still, I don't know. What else is there? There's oh, did you see about that, JD and Josh? The creator of the first AMV apparently passed away. I think a couple days ago. I think they announced it today. But the creator of the AMV, isn't that wild that like they've been around for so long?
How
Also,
long was the oldest AMV?
82, I think.
In 82. Rest in peace, James Kapostas. I can't pronounce your last name. I apologize. It's Kapoztas. I'm sorry. Kapostas?
Kapos.
It's in the notes. I actually wrote it out. So I wanted to rest in peace. He seemed like a great guy. There were a lot of tributes to him. He was a staffer from Acon. But in 1982, he apparently got it like connected a bunch of VHSs together and made what's considered the very first AMV, and it was Space Battleship Yamato set to All You Need Is Love by the Beatles, which is the weirdest connection for the first AMV, don't you think?
Kind of is. I can definitely see how that was put together though, because of using several VHSs. I actually used to take like DVD and music in the background before I actually started mixing it up on my computer for like just random movies and stuff. So like hearing about that story just kind of reminded me of that. And also just like the amount of effort from using all that together just to make the MV, like that's some serious props. It's a shame that he's passed away.
Yeah.
True check.
I don't remember if when Adam and Jesse were on, they talked about it, but I know they handled the AMV contest for Torcon, and they have some interesting stories about like the history of AMVs and how you have to do it on like VHS.
It's funny because like hearing about that reminded me of a lot of things. Because back in the day when I was like in high school, I used to like me and my friends would like film movies, like little short films, but they were like legit, like acted out, scripted things. And most of the editing we did, actually all the editing we did, was through 2 VCRs and a tape, you know.
Yeah.
But we would get ahead of ourselves, and we get so mad when we fuck up. We would do a lot of it in camera. Like, we would shoot a scene, we'd record a scene. If you fucked up, we'd rewind a little bit to back to where the last recording ended, then do it again. Which is also annoying because like I still have some of those tapes, and when I was a bit older, I started transferring them over for like the purposes of like, you know, oh look how cute this was that we filmed this. But all those other takes, all the funny flubs we did, are lost to time because I thought it was a good idea to edit in camera, so we'd record over them.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
posture check, Manuel.
I did. I cracked my back.
R.I.P.
You guys didn't hear it.
There was a posture check. You didn't do yours.
I did it.
You just did it.
When I did it the first time, I actually cracked my back. I didn't mean to. I just stretched a little, and it was like, oh shit, was I shrimping? I was being a shrimp. Ugh. Anyway, I used to do AMVs. That's a funny little thing. I don't know if I ever mentioned that. I used to do AMVs in my early Weeby days. I used to. I'm trying to remember which ones I did. I think most of mine were video game related. Is that still an AMV?
I think that's technically a GMV.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't know if it's still. I'm pretty sure somebody would tell me that's not. But I used to edit the cutscenes, like the Final Fantasy games, to like random shit. I remember. I'm trying to think of any good ones.
Linkin Park. It was all Linkin Park, I'm sure.
I hated fucking doing Linkin Park. I remember that was. Oh my god. Fucking Closer, or like what's the other one? What's that big song called from that first album? The Edge or some shit like that. One step closer. There you go. I was not that much of a weeb. I wasn't sitting there doing Inuyasha to like fucking One Step Closer. No. I was doing Parasite Eve to like fucking some very obscure like symphonic metal shit that I liked. I remember like my very first YouTube channel, which is very sad because I had a lot of like bass covers on there. That's where my reaction for Two Girls One Cup was on there. A bunch of other shit was on there, like, you know, just videos. And it got deleted because I did an AMV to what the fuck was it? I did an AMV. I know the song was Iced Earth's The Hunter. Fuck you, Iced Earth, because John Schaefer was like fucking September 11th. Ooh, that was the wrong one. John Schaefer was January 6th, like one of like the leaders of that whole bullshit. And he's like federal prison, going to federal prison soon now. But anyways, it was Iced Earth the Hunter. And what the fuck was the game or the anime I used? I don't remember. But that thing got me copyright claimed and they deleted my whole channel. Rest in peace, old school manual channel. All that lost media. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't remember if I mentioned this on the previous one, but I did an AMV for the Torcon contest too, but I've only done the one. It was a rock and roll band by Boston over Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, if you know that anime.
Oh, I know that one, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You didn't win.
I didn't win. I can tell you that. I made it into like the finals of the final like voting for public voting. Made it past that at least.
For those that don't know, Toricon is a con in Rochester, New York. It's is it standalone or is it still a college con? I don't know how that works.
As far as I know, it's still a college con. We're still
okay
holding it on college grounds. We're not.
But you can go to it if you're a person.
Yeah, you don't need to be
a student.
A bunch of people who are not college students go to it.
It's funny because I saw on Twitter that they sold out of like one of their day badges already or some shit like that. I'm like, what? I didn't know that they were that popular.
Yeah, Saturday badges, and they only have so many. Actually, attendance cap is kind of controlled by the school still.
Oh, okay. Unlike AX.
Nice segue, Manuel.
Are you going to AX, Josh?
I don't think I'll be going this year. If I do, I'll have to change course quick enough for the sake of buying those badges before they get up too high.
That's what I was gonna say, because apparently they've already sold out of the first tier, the 145 tier, which I already thought was stupid expensive.
Well, it's kind of weird because last year they just had it at $140. So like, it's kind of weird because they just said it's at 140, and it was like that up until like AX when all of the weekend badges sold out like in June.
Pretty sure that the cost is going to be like 200 by the time we get to the con, which is insane to me. That like it's gone up that much. Like yeah, it's 165 right now, right? And I'm pretty sure after fees, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like 180 because I think even when it was 145, it was like 160 something with fees. So yeah, that's insane. Who would pay that much to go to AX?
Just everybody who's like, hey, it's the what's it called? It's the party of the year. So like that they just know that there's a lot of people who go to it. Like they killed off the premier badges too. So now you have all the people that would like to get premier that now are just getting like the regular tiered like price badges.
We didn't even mention that, and surprisingly, I don't think I've seen that mentioned yet. At least not like loud enough that it's come to my attention. That's probably the reason why there's such a giant badge increase price. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was only like 1,000 premier badges, so spreading the extra however many thousands of dollars across everyone should not be this much more. But that's probably their reasoning because like they got rid of the premier, so everything else has to go up to accommodate for that.
Yeah, it could be.
Honestly, I think Premiere was just I was a Premiere badge holder for like most of my time at AX before I was press. And like it's wild how cheap that was too.
Like comparison to what it was like becoming now?
Yeah. Like I remember, I'll never forget, it was like $100 for like a long time. For like years, it was like $100. Like 99 exactly. And like 1 year, like I don't remember which year it was, like 2012 or 2013. 1 year, I remember we were talking about this on the last time we were talking about the price. 1 year it went from 100 to like 175 or some shit like that. And we're like, wow, that's a big jump. Well, I guess I'll pay it though. But then the next year it went from like 100 and something to like 300 and something, and it kind of stayed in that range. Yeah, it kind of always stayed in that range after that. But I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, why did it jump in price that much?
Yeah.
It's like that's a fucking that's not a con. That's like a trip somewhere. That's like a vacation in and of itself. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to a lot of people, I bet that they would be helped to justify that as their vacation. So, like, it's kind of like that's what they were selling, you know. It's like the biggest anime convention in the US, and I feel that there was still time before it would actually grow to like where it is like today, because like even 2010s to about 2014, I don't think that's necessarily like the craziest that it had been. But that was around the time where it was really starting to show the amount of people going was like growing exponentially. And so yeah, no, it's I can understand when it's used as a deterrent, but like now with how insane the price is, a lot of people had just been concerned of whether or not changes would be made for the sake of the price being so high so that regular
No,
attendees have a good
no.
time. You don't have the issues of heat stroke. You don't have the really long line on the first day so that they can say, "Hey, look at how crazy it is out here," because everybody wants to come down to the con.
I know it's the world we live in. I know it is, but it annoys me to no fucking end that there is airport like security at AX these days. I can't stand it. It bottlenecks the line, and honestly, all it does is just throw away water bottles. I don't think they. It's
It's
like
kind of shitty when stuff like that happens.
It's just security theater, and they just get rid of your outside food and drink. It's just I fucking hate it. I miss the old days. Like it's not even old days of AX. We're talking like 2015. I miss the days in AX when like you could just walk in. Because I get that there'll be a line for a panel. I get that. I get there'd be a line for the badges, pickups. I get it. I get there'd be a line if you're going to pay at a food place, if you're going to buy something at a booth. I get all of that. What I don't get is that there's always the gigantic fucking lines just to get in.
Yeah.
That's what upsets me the most.
Oh yeah, the
That's
line
why
to
I'll never go.
get in day one last year. I was in that line for like 90 minutes.
No, exactly, and that's not uncommon. I remember when we had Warren on at some point when we were talking about it. We were Warren and Leslie. Um, Warren had a exhibitor badge, but Leslie didn't because she was like a model at the fashion show or whatever. So Warren was able to get in the I'm a special person line that I can get in, without the line like a guest, the press, what exhibitor. But she couldn't, so he had to wait with her a lot of the times. And he was even saying, he's like, hell no, it's like you're gonna be out here for like 2 hours. I'm gonna go inside and beat you in there. And I'm like, I don't blame you. I'm sure Leslie did, but I wouldn't. It's like, nah, man. I don't know. That's the part I can't wrap my head around. It's like part of me understands why it's there. Actually, no. Part of me actually all of me knows why it's there. It's because that fucker that I've also met before, that fucker at like the Arizona Comic Con or whatever the fuck, who brought a gun to like the con or whatever. Remember that? That's exactly why it happened. Remember that, Josh? Do you remember that story?
I remember a bomb threat in 2011, but like, well, not exactly a bomb threat, just an unintended bag.
No,
But
like in
who was
20.
going to show up with a gun to AX, or what was that
No,
about?
no, no. It was had nothing to do with AX. In 2016, this dude showed up with, or 2016, 17 doesn't matter. Some dude showed up with a gun to threaten Jason David Frank's life. Rest in peace, by
Whoa.
the way. We didn't even talk about that when that happened. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank. Not because of that. Not because he like because that. Unfortunately, he had a much. He passed away recently. But anyways, but he threatened him, and like he apparently was telling Reiko. You know Reiko, right, from Lead Dark of all people.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was apparently the shooter guy was a potential shooter guy was messaging Reiko. Then Reiko like told her cop friend like in LA, and the cop friend called the cops in like Phoenix or where the fuck it was, and they thankfully were able to pick him up like um before anything happened. But my
Mhm.
big problem with this whole story is Arizona is an open carry state.
Mhm.
And I don't say that like he has a right to have it, but technically in Arizona he has a right to walk around with the gun like openly.
Uh,
That's just the way it is.
I mean, I assume it's on private property though, which obviously has different rules.
Which is it's actually funny you mentioned that. Apparently and this isn't like anything big because it's just the way it had to be. Also, because like intent, they had to wait for him to come inside to like pick him up for the same reason JD just said. Because it's an open carry state. He could have that shit strapped to his back and walk around the streets in Arizona. You can't do that in California. But my point to bringing that up is because of all that bullshit, that one fucker, every con afterwards, did airport like security.
So it's specifically because of that person?
Yeah. And it's like, and don't you remember? You remember when AX like didn't have security, right?
Oh, I
It wasn't-
remember.
Yeah, and then like that wasn't a thing, and it's funny because now everyone's gotten used to it, especially because like you just assume it, like that's just the way like the U.S. is, which is wild when you think about it. That like
I mean, it's not too wild when you literally have so many examples of
Guns?
gun violence happen. I mean, we just had that issue ran the same weekend for the Lunar New Year, and you had like
I mean,
two different like what's it called? You had two different like shootings happen on like two different parts of California, and then you later heard of another incident later down the week. So it's not too far fetched to see why this would happen, but it's definitely like a shame because I mean, if you just had better gun control, you'd probably be
exactly.
able to like, you know, not worry
That
about this in the same way. But unfortunately, like that is a problem we have to deal with, and that
That's what I'm
sucks.
saying. Like I know that I know this is the smallest of things to complain about. Like, oh, you can't go into your anime convention. You have to wait an hour to get into it. But yeah, but rather than pass stricter gun laws, we're just like, no, we're gonna fucking do airport security all over everywhere from now on. That's the solution. They're
A
just like
solution that might be increasing our ticket prices because they are probably going to try and front that as part of the bill. It's just, we have all this security here, so that expense has to be covered somewhere.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you need security no matter what, but I don't know. It is whatever.
I definitely feel like
Huh?
mines could probably move faster somehow, but
I don't think so. It's funny. It never ceases to amaze me that they expect 100,000 people to show up. They expect this number, but yet they have like 5 checkpoints. You know what I mean? That's the part that blows my mind. It's like, what are you
What
doing?
blows my mind is there are 100,000 people that go to Anime Expo, and somehow, even without messaging, I'll run into like the same group of people that I know.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because like I barely went to the con last year because I didn't have a badge. Actually, I did have a badge. I'm lying. I had a badge that a friend of mine gave me, like a staffer. I shouldn't have said that, but anyway, somebody gave me a badge, and I went. I literally kept like every day. I would start walking towards the con because I went to the JW. So I'd like go outside. The con is like right across the street. I'd go outside, walk across in front of the Microsoft Theater, see a friend like in the little open patio area. Well, it wasn't that open then, but the patio area, and like see a friend, talk to them, get lazy, and go back to my hotel room. Sometimes with them.
I roomed with Manuel. I can tell you that this is all 100% true.
Yes. I made it to the con once for like a hot second, and I don't think I went inside. I think I made it to the front door, and I saw someone else. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go back and drink. Yeah. Just
Once again, 100% true.
This year I am hoping we get press again, and then if we do, then I'll actually go. But even then, like, because it's so hard to get in, even for press, because like even though we don't have the line, it's still like bullshit to even get to the secret line. I'm just gonna do what I have to do, not leave the con. As soon as the con, like my work there is done, I leave and go get drunk. It's like fuck my liver. I sent you that thing, remember? Over the weekend. Oh, I didn't send you that to you. I don't know if I sent it to you because you were like, take care of your liver, dude. I'm like, nah, man, fuck my liver. Oh man, I'm so self-destructive. Anyway, drink responsibly, folks.
Definitely drink responsibly.
I mean, I like to think that I drink responsibly, and I don't mean that as in I don't overdrink. I don't do anything stupid. Does that make any sense?
I mean, it's still good to not get super like crazy drunk. I mean, you don't just because you're not doing something crazy doesn't mean that you're not causing some damage. Like it's good to just not work out. It's good to just drink when you got a good plan. You're just gonna like enjoy some good time with friends and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, no, just because you're not, you know,
My liver's not
like
falling
drunk
out.
driving or like causing pandemonium outside does not mean that there's no damage happening.
Oh, I'm sure there's I don't know, man. This is like this is Manuel's intervention right here live on Ultra Podcast. I'm just kidding. It's funny because at ALA, I don't think I saw you that. I didn't see you much. You kept coming by when we were already
I was
asleep.
there that one night.
Yeah, but every other night I think you tried to message me and we were already asleep because we went to sleep kind of early at ALA. But the last night I had actually gotten so drunk like that over the weekend that like I was like basically alcohol poisoned, dehydrated, and dying.
Oh balls.
And so I didn't drink the last night. But when I was coming back from the con, I was there were some friends of mine who came to come party. I'm like, yeah, you can come party, but I'm not going to drink. And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. So they started walking with me. And one of the friends who like has seen me drunk and knows I drink, but doesn't know me well, she was all like, Daniel, you shouldn't just stop drinking. Like you might get even sicker because your body's going through withdrawals. And I'm like, do people think I drink every day?
Manuel, I just assume you're always drunk at this point.
I just love that she was like concerned that I shouldn't go a day without drinking, and I'm like, I literally don't drink like this all the time, and when I do, it's maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, and like even when I drink at home, like okay, the cons is usually like, let's see who could do 21 shots in an hour kind of thing, but usually it's not that wild at home because it's not like a whole group of people egging everyone else on. But you were there that first night we killed someone, right, Josh? We had somebody dead in the bathroom.
I'm not sure. I didn't check.
You probably didn't know because like if you didn't have to go to the bathroom, you probably would not known that somebody was in there just dead on the floor.
Oh damn. I've
Oh,
been
good
there
time.
before though.
See. Actually, I'm lying. I've been there once before, but it's usually not like I usually don't go that level. I just cause other people to do it. Anyways, what else is on the docket, JD?
I think that's everything, actually.
What isn't? The Switch, Rick and Morty. I just want. Yeah, Rick and Morty guys canceled, and they're recasting Rick and Morty. I don't like Rick and Morty. I never saw the draw of Rick and Morty.
Well, to
I
be
don't know if
fair,
you're a Rick and
Manuel.
Morty fan, Josh. Huh? I don't have a high IQ.
Yes.
I think
you
the
lost all your
show's
brain
okay.
cells with the
I've seen a few
drinking.
episodes, but I didn't really follow the show like religiously or anything like that. Yeah, it's an okay show. I enjoy some of the episodes. It's Dan Harmon also writing. So like there'd be a lot to make it seem like I would have been, from Community.
Yeah. He's co-creator along with Justin Roiland.
Okay.
And the one who's actually still writing the show.
Oh, so see, Dan Harmon's still there.
Yeah.
But there's all these new stories about how like the Roiland guy, I guess is that.
Yeah.
I didn't know his last name until like you just said it right now, and I'm looking at it. I just knew it was Justin something. That Justin Roiland. That apparently he kind of checked out of the show like years ago anyway.
Yeah.
So
apparently hasn't been writing in episodes or writing since season 3.
I mean, obviously he's the voices, I guess, of a lot of the people, but I don't know. Rick and Morty was always a weird show to me. It's funny because there was a panel we did at ALA, not this recent ALA, like ALA 2016 or 17. Nyaru was there, actually. Fun story. She was there in person on this idol panel with us. And it was an idol panel. And there's this idol group called Maison Book Girl. I have no idea if they're still around. I assume they're broken up because they were super indie at the time. But I'll never forget going to their live in Japan. Yeah, it was so fucking quiet. Like it was an idol festival. Like it wasn't a festival, but it was an idol festival live. It was like 6 hours. Like 15 groups were there. And when Maison Book Girl came out, they were one of the semi-headliners. They had a longer set. It was dead silent. Every other artist had people doing their wotage, people climbing on shoulders, people were like, being woda, being fans, being idol otaku. But when Maison Book Girl came out, everyone was fucking silent. You could hear a pin drop in that place. And Japan crowds are weird in like, you'll never get that in the US. Like, it might be quiet, but you'll still hear somebody talking. You'll hear like, somebody still, one person will still cheer. No, it was dead silent. Like, if I spoke, they would have heard me on stage. So like, I when we were at the panel, I called them the Rick and Morty of idol groups, and I said because people have to have an IIQ to understand it. And apparently, I didn't realize that when people said Rick and Morty has high IQ, it wasn't the fan. It was like meant as a joke.
Yeah, it
didn't
might
know
have been
that.
serious at first, but now no one says it seriously.
But yeah, so when I said it, everyone in the room laughed, and I'm like, wait, I don't mean it as a joke. Like I thought that people, and then Yara's like, because it's funny because I made that joke on the podcast up to that point, and Yara was like, did you really think people were being? I'm like, yes. Like I didn't know that. Like, but yeah, Maison Book Girl is the. If you're ever looking for idol music, Maison Book Girl is the Rick and Morty of idol groups. In that, in that you need a high IQ to understand their music. Honestly, that concert was funny. I don't know. There was this idol group. Somebody could probably tell me their name if I asked an idol fan, but like a lot of these indie alt idol groups are very just over the top, wild, just to like they have shticks to get them people to like them. One of the idol groups, they all came out with the horse head masks.
What?
And like, yeah, and they performed in horse head masks. It was so wild. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. It was an interesting night. Anyways,
does sound pretty big brain.
You should go to concerts in Japan. Have you been to Japan, Josh?
I have not been to Japan yet, but I do want to go.
All the weebs are going. Everyone I know is like in Japan right now. It feels like because a lot of people are going because the travel restrictions are up.
Yeah, I heard about that. I've seen some of my friends already go, and like there's a part of me that's like tempted, but I really gotta find like just a new job first. But otherwise, like I can't tell you how many people are already like planning all their trips, both between those I've seen go right when it opened up, or with I think there was one that went around the time that ELA was happening, and then another friend who's playing a trip over in March, and then got some friends of mine who are playing a trip. They decided they would probably go like 2024, just so that way they could wait until after like the huge wave of tourism happens, and then what's it called, and then enjoy it after the fact. Especially because they figured that this spring is going to be relatively busy, with it being like the first spring open since lockdown. So I'm tempted, but like still not realistically in the cards yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon. Maybe next year, like when things settle down for me, like also mainly financially. But yeah, I want to get to traveling again. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and JD are going to Holiday Matsuri, isn't that right, JD? Florida.
If I can get time off and I'm still here, if you
If you're still
drive,
there.
I'll help pay for stuff.
Well, we'll see what happens because my plan. I think I already told you already. My plan is to go to Georgia and then somehow get down from Georgia to to Florida from there. Anyway, Josh, if you had your own late night talk show, which anime character would you invite as your first guest?
As my first guest? Oh wait, I saw that question earlier. I didn't know we were gonna have to be answering that. I don't know. Because like it would have to be fun. Who would you have? Let me see. You throw one at me, and maybe it'll cost my brain to like.
I've actually been thinking about this. I think I would have Kenshiro on from Fish of the North Star.
Yeah, the North Star.
Just because, like, I think that would be a fun guest to have. Also, like, he could do his like, he could kill me at the end. It's like, hey, show me that thing you always do. Like, and then like, oh my, one more Shindeiru. And it's like, Nani? Then I explode. and that's the end of the show. That's the
First
season
episode
finale.
and last episode.
Yeah, Manuel exploded on air. But no, that'd be fun, and that'll be fun exploding. But no, I for some reason, I just in my head when I saw that question, I think I saw it on the DTR, and I just never brought it up. In my head, I imagined this like Space Ghost Coast to Coast type scenario, where it's like, I'm like, I could totally interview Kenshiro. That would be so much fun.
But what if, and I got an answer, but what if you would do this host thing? I don't know if there's like a legal issue that would accompany this or not, but what if you had a show where you acted as a host and you could get the voice actors who would have a particular role and you would just have them be one of the characters? So like it would be funny because then you could purposely have your interview questions reflect just specifically what the character can work out with. You could also have a list prepared that you would send over to the voice actor, so maybe they would have something prepared as well, so they wouldn't have to feel like a lot of it is like very improv. Like it could feel like a very fun thing to do. But I don't know if there's like any legal issues with that idea, just because
I'd imagine there would be. I googled it right now real fast to check. I mean, not the legal issues, but I googled it real fast to check. Lex Lang is the English dub voice of Kenshiro. So Lex Lang, if you're watching, message me.
Yeah, no, like that. I feel like that would be a really good idea for a show. Like, but once again, I'm just not sure. The only reason I bring this up is because I think Christina V did like a little thing as Noelle Vermillion this one time. She had like a small little video, and I don't know if that video got like taken down or something like that. But she was just kind of screwing around with her character from Blaze Blue, and yeah. But who I think would be cool to have on would be Ryoko from what's it called? Tenchi Muyo?
Oh, that.
Oh,
like, could you imagine having Ryoko as like on a late night host like interview thing like that? That would lead to plenty of shenanigans and yeah.
Which Ryoko were you thinking, JD?
Matoi from Kill la Kill.
Who is that a Ryoko from Maison Ikoku? Hold on, Ryoko. What's the main character's name?
Maison Ikoku has a Ryoko? I don't think that
What's
doesn't
her
sound
name?
right.
Girl's name. What's the main girl's
I'll
name?
look it up.
The
Keep
main
going.
girl's name? I'm gonna look that up right now. It's been a while. It's the greatest thing that what's it called? It is the greatest thing that Rumiko Takahashi has made.
I used to read that manga like crazy, but these take so long to come out that eventually I just stopped. And then like I sold them, and now it's really expensive.
Why would you sell that? That is actually art, and it's Kyoko. I see where you were going. It's so Kyoko, not Ryoko.
Okay, so it's been years since I read it, but I was like, when you said Ryoko, I'm like, is that the girl from Maison Ikoku? Are we going there? Because Maison Book Girl is like in the head.
Yeah, anyway. No, it's well, I don't know, it's kind of hard. It's like, here's the thing, like Maison Ikoku is the best thing that she's written because it kind of like, it's just a slice of life. It's like very like in and of itself, it's different from the other things she's written because like you have space ogres and you have what's it called? The demon shenanigans, and you have the Ranma 1/2. Like everything has a level of like extra-ness to it, if I could put it right. Like, you know, and it's not to say that Mason Koku is the only what's it called, slice of life, because technically what's it called, Urase is technically slice of life, if not like slice of life comedy. And then, you know, you have whatever the new one is that's out. I don't know what it is yet, but I haven't been keeping up with that one.
She's still doing manga?
She's still doing manga. She has one going out right now. I'm just saying I don't know the name of it. It's with some like red-haired dude right now. But like like
Rine is another new. Rine and Mao are the new ones. Anyways.
There we go. But yeah, like there's a level of like fantasy to it, or like very like kind of shonen. If you throw in Inuyasha, it's not really a shonen, but it's like kind of shonen. And then there's Mason Ikoku, which is just a straight up no magical nonsense, no demons, no extraterrestrial stuff. It's literally just a slice of life human thing, and it's like
Slice of life human.
it's
I
it's
know what you
so
mean. It's
amazing how good it is. Even the parts that are mid are okay. I really don't understand why she introduced some like go to college like kid. I really feel like he was the most filler that ever got, but
Oh yeah.
everything else is like so banger. The ending is great. The catharsis is not given to you when you think you're gonna get it, because someone actually has to emotionally grow up, and then you
Oh
get
yeah.
catharsis, and it's great. And it's like damn, because like it's really good, and everybody should read it. And I don't know why you would sell it. You should have known that that would have been
I,
art, and been
I'm
like, the only
stupid.
thing you should have done was like, hey, do you know what this is? No. Okay, good. Read it, because yeah, you should read it and then expect it back.
Real fast before we wrap up, I did not know she wrote 1 Pound Gospel. I saw that OVA randomly years ago, and I did not know that was also Rumiko Takahashi, even though the
It's
art's
that one's also funny. It's also really short. It's like only four
yeah, exactly.
volumes. It's really
It
nice.
was I've seen that manga. Anyways, that's everyone go support Rumiko Takahashi. I'm sure she's doing fine.
No, dude, she got like a big book recently. Like
Yeah.
she is officially the best female mangaka out there. Even if you want to say that whoever wrote I'm not saying whoever is in disrespect. I'm just saying that the person who wrote Full Metal Alchemist, like that
Oh.
is an amazing shonen, but like yeah, like they got to give it up.
That would be Arakawa sensei.
The fucking I mentioned this last story, GD. I promise. I remember, like, I went to one of those, like, early AX memory panels that the old AX staff did at one of the AX's 28th anniversary, whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember. Anyways, they were telling the story about like how at the very first AX, somebody showed up as a Ranma was a Ranma cosplayer, but this like first AX, there was like 5 cosplayers there, so it was very noticeable. And the I ruined the punchline. the the Ranma cosplayer was all black and white, like the uniform, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's like this is interesting color scheme. Why'd you go this way?" It's like I'm manga Ranma, and I don't think anyone has ever done that again. I'm sure they have if you Google it, but no one. I don't think that's a very clever idea. People should do manga versions, which is the black and white versions or whatever, or just the manga versions. If you ever are a fan of Revolutionary Girl Utena, her outfit is supposed to be pink, and for some reason, the anime did not make it pink. It's actually a legit plot point in the manga that I do not know why they did not transfer that over to the anime.
It reminds me of what's it called? It reminds me of Scott Pilgrim, where in the
We're
you're
just gonna
reading it,
keep
it's
going on, JD.
Yeah, please.
Go on.
you're reading it,
Last thing, yeah.
and it's what's it called, black and white, okay? And so
Oh,
in the second issue, she changes her hair color, and so it's present at the cover of the book, but when you're actually reading it, it's in black and white. So the joke is that you just see the characters go, "Hey, you changed your hair," and it's like, "Yes, I have." It's like, "It's blue," and
you just
there's a
believe
little
it.
thing. There's a little thing at the bottom that says, "This comic is in black and white." So it's like very relevant about
Oh,
how it's like self-referential, but that's not where the joke ends, because when they re-released the books, they were now in color, so now there's like full-on color versions of it, and so it goes through the same motions. Your hair's blue, and she says, yes, yes it is, and now the little boxes change. It says this joke was funnier in black and white.
that's a good one. See, I want to see more manga versions. I want to see more black and white cosplays. Let's do it. Let's bring it back. I'm gonna be black and white. Wait, I was gonna say the panda uncle. What's his name? From Ranma, but he already
His
would be
dad,
black.
his panda
Yeah,
dad.
His dad.
he would already be black and white. I'm a dumbass. Anyway, that's it. That's it. On that stupid note, that was accidental. Manuel signing out. This is A to J Connections. Thank you, Josh, for being here. Shout out to Ed and Kenneth, the current patrons. Support us, patreon.com/AJ Connections. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Subscribe. And yeah, that's it. See you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I think it'll be bad relationship advice. And maybe we'll have on, I won't say who just in case it doesn't happen. We'll have on the guest that we're supposed to have on tonight who canceled, unfortunately. So hopefully next week, we'll see. Thank you
And
all.
I
Peace out.
invite people to
it.
join in on this for next week.
Do it.
I'll send invites. I'm not sure if they'll get back to me, but like
All right,
if it's
cool.
if it's Valentine's related.
Yeah, do it. Okay, peace out. Love you all.
Bye, everybody.